Live, learn, grow. All right, we're chugging right along, pushing through this week of juice. So I thought I'd put together a quick video just to kind of highlight more points on your detox, as you're going through this process. So congratulations. Again, I can't say that enough because this is not easy. Going through and just not eating for one day can be a challenge. But, getting to the point where you guys have completed 3 days of not eating and only drinking juice is awesome. So be proud of yourself for sure, because this is not a small task. But so it's a good thing that you've made the choice to give your body a rest, to allow your filtration systems, to allow your digestive tract to rest and to cleanse itself. The body was made to cleanse itself, so we're taking advantage of that thing that God put in us already, right? And we're helping it to work better because toxins are everywhere. We have to think about how many times in your life have you actually gone through a detox? How old are you, right? And how long have you been living in this world, in this environment, and actually gone through a process like this? Probably never. This is just not something that we think about. It's not something that most people do on a regular basis. However, now that we know about it, we should. This is something that we should do multiple times throughout the year, actually. This is because there's toxins everywhere. There's toxins and chemicals in everything, not only our food. If you think about it, the products and different chemicals that are released in the air from chemical plants, they don't just stay in the air, but they remain in the air, right? But they also come down and they go into the soil, they go into the water, and then our food is grown in the soil, and then we drink the water. So then to compound that, right, we also use products with chemicals on it. As you can see here, makeup products. How many pounds of toxic chemicals we're using a year just by using makeup alone? Not only makeup, shampoo. Okay, your skin is your biggest organ. So sucking into your pores are chemicals constantly all day long. Just by getting up and going outside to check the mail, you're exposed to some type of chemical. So that's why it's important to detox, because we cannot live in a bubble, right? I mean, the more we find out, it makes you want to feel that way. I feel like, okay, what can I do? What can I drink? What can I eat? Nothing, because everything is toxic. But we can't live in a bubble. So what we have to do is be vigilant, take our health, take it back, because it is under attack. In this country, our health is under attack. So we are taking control of that. We can't live in a bubble, but we can affect what we put in our body. We can affect how often we go through a detox and cleanse our body. There might be certain products. I've changed the toothpaste that I use. I use a natural toothpaste that doesn't have sugar in it, because I know I'm getting so many other chemicals through toothpaste. What else can you change? Your soap. There's natural soaps. I'll put out a picture for some of these that you can use. I think it's called Dr. Bronner's. He has a mixture that you can not only use it for soap, but it's a shampoo. It's natural cleaners around the house. There's little things that we can start to change as we grow further into this process. So this is not about living in fear, but rather being aware of what's around us, being aware of all the things that are attacking our health. It's just like a stranger. When you're a child, you're taught to be aware of strangers, not to live in fear. You can't live in that bubble and do nothing. But if you're not aware, you're a sitting duck. And our environment and our food is the same. So that's what this is about. And just remember that change does take time. You have the time, you have been graced with the time, because we are still living and breathing to make right choices. So while we have time, while God has given us that time, let's make the right choices. GMOs, for instance, genetically modified food, those foods have an adverse effect on our health. That's where, they have changed how the genetic makeup, I guess, of corn and soybeans, potatoes, grains, certain things, they've altered that just to make more. So being wise in the way that we select our food is crucial, because it's there's just an attack. So while you're on this fast, while you're juicing, use the time to really visualize yourself eating the right foods, eating clean, and enjoying it. Like just enjoying the fact that you can, that you have the ability to choose because you are aware of what's going on. Like you're aware of what's in those processed foods and what those foods are doing to your body. Like you're aware of that. So be grateful for it. Ask God for help. You know, one of the things I used to do on the fast was literally, I would say, oh man, it's going to taste so good when I eat some broccoli. And I would go through a list of vegetables and I would imagine myself biting into an apple and being excited about it and it just nourishing my body. And then I would even think about that apple moving through my digestive system, right? Feeding me in all the areas that it needs to, like sucking up the vitamins that's in that. I mean, I would really go to that extreme because I wanted to maximize the time that I'm not eating. I want to maximize the time that I am not only detoxing my body, but I'm detoxing my mind, my spirit, and my emotions. So I'm focusing on all aspects, you know, not just positive thinking, not just reading spiritual things to take in that spiritual food, but I'm also reprogramming because you can do that on this time. You can reprogram yourself. So don't spend the time going, oh my gosh, this is terrible. You know, don't spend the time thinking that way. Don't spend this time going, I can't wait to eat whatever bad food you're missing. Because yeah, those cravings are going to kick up. Absolutely. But take hold of those thoughts and ask God to give you the desire for the foods and the things in this life that you need. Make my need my desire. Add that to your prayer list. Dear God, make my need my desire, because a lot of the time we do not desire the things we need. We desire things that are harmful to us, including toxic people. We desire the wrong things. So we have to be purposeful and ask for help to desire that which we need, the things that's going to feed us and nourish us. And so your food is in line with that. And this just talks about, you know, if your food can go bad, it's good for you. All right. You are alive, so you should be eating food that is living too, because food that's dead, it continues to decompose in your system. The living food, the whole foods, the raw foods actually go into your body and your body uses it. Okay, it doesn't have time to decompose because your body knows what to do with it. The other foods that are dead, the cooked foods that have carcinogens, all the stuff that comes about from adding heat to food, when we kill it off, it's dead and it sits in your system. And that's why a detox is necessary. That's why you have food that's not digested, because your body's like, I don't know what to do with this stuff, you know, so I'm just going to wait. And then there's more coming in, so it has to wait. And then there's more coming in, so it has to deal with the stuff coming in. And then the old stuff doesn't get processed, on top of the fact that it's already dead, so your body can't use it. So it's just sitting there. Versus your whole raw living foods that we have been taking in when we're eating clean and giving your body the opportunity to use it as fuel. So here's some of the benefits of fasting, right? Increased energy, increased immunity, sorry about that, enhanced liver function, reduce allergy symptoms, increased metabolism, weight loss, improved digestion, the reduction of joint pain, improved sleep, heightened mental clarity, focus, memory, improved stability of mood and balance. That one might take a while. Sometimes you go through a roller coaster with your emotions, but yes, they do improve. And then you get that feeling of calmness and peace. Absolutely. Like that happens. That's why I say really be mindful of what you take in. Like, what are you listening to? What are you reading? When you have the free time, don't spend it watching a lot of TV. TV can be just like the destroyer of your process. Like it can just bring all kind of destruction because, I mean, they're constantly flashing these messages at you. You don't need it on your mind right now. So yeah, be purposeful about those things. Again, eat raw foods. The more raw foods we eat, the better. I'm not saying that you're never going to cook food again, but the more we choose the raw and living foods, the better off we're going to be. And the more we're going to help our body, you know, aid in digestion and just wholeness overall, just being in health, you know. So yeah, we don't want to make it worse by eating the wrong food. So this is about our awareness. And remember that growth takes time. This didn't happen overnight. Change doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, but congratulations to you for taking the time out to nourish your body, to love on yourself in the right way so that you can grow. Like, congratulations. Everybody doesn't do that. Whether or not they know they should do it, people talk about what they know all day long. But are you applying that knowledge? Because if you're not, then you really don't know it. Right? But you guys have taken the time to say, all right, I know this, I heard this, I read this, I'm understanding this. You know what? I'm going to apply it in my life and I'm going to see what happens. And that is the beginning of change. You have allowed yourself to get uncomfortable and get comfortable with being uncomfortable because you want something different. And in order to get something different, you got to do something different. So congratulations for doing that. And I just wanted to read from this book that I'm reading. And it was just talking about the name of the book, yes, is Unhealthy Anonymous. And it's about detoxing. It's about being healthy. It's written by a doctor who does a lot of talks, and he also, incorporates God, because how can you separate that? He is the creator of all of us, of this world, and he's designed our bodies to work in such a harmony, and we just have to go along with that. So, let me see where it was. I had okay, here it is. So we contemplate because deep logical thought is God's gift to man. He gave this to no other creature. When we think deeply and contemplate the meaning of our lives, what we are to accomplish while we are here, and how we're going to enrich the lives of others along the way, we develop purpose. A purposeful life is a life worth living. Amen. It is, right? And then it says self-help books will generally tell us to look to our desires and our dreams for our purpose. But the richest, healthiest, and most successful individuals in history have been that way because they realized, accepted, and lived God's purpose for them. So once you reclaim your health and vitality, what mission will you be on? How will you use this newfound energy to bless our broken world? Amen. Like, purpose-driven life. You will stumble upon, if you didn't already know, your purpose through a process of cleansing and detoxing your mind. So congratulations, and I wanted to share this film with you, Farmageddon. Take time to watch the films, guys. Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a journalist. Okay, so I can't travel around the world and get some of this info, but the info's in the film. So they share so much. Farmageddon will blow your mind. Please watch that film. Any other film that I've posted in the group that you have not taken time to watch, do yourself a favor and check it out, especially while you're on this fast, because there's something about fasting, that mental clarity. You can suck up information and it does not leave you. So put the right stuff in while you're on this fast, nourish yourself, and congratulations for making the change. Live, learn, grow.